All right, it was a day which was high on emotion where the Rajya Sabha is concerned. Well, marking the end of his Rajya Sabha tenure, Gulam Nabi Azad nearly broke down, but also the Prime Minister, recalling his association with Mr. Azad.
सत्ता जीवन में आती रहती है, लेकिन उसे कैसे पचाना,
The Prime Minister breaking down in tears in Parliament on Tuesday. While bidding his friend, fellow MP and political rival Gulam Nabi Azad a fond farewell. The touching moment across party lines reverberating across an acrimonious and hostile political landscape. Clearly moved by the gesture, the Congress stalwart returned the affection.
सबसे ज्यादा धन्यवाद मैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर का करता हूं कि आपने सबको सुना, आपने इतना समय 2 घंटे से ज्यादा यहां समय दिया, जिस तरह से भावुक होकर मेरे बारे में कुछ शब्द बताए, मैं बड़ी सोच में पड़ गया कि क्या कहूं मैं।
The mutual respect wasn't spontaneous, but goes back a full 14 years, as the Prime Minister said. Way back to 2007, when Azad, then the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, had personally connected with his Gujarat counterpart at the time to share the news of a horrific terror attack on Gujarati pilgrims. The mutual affection has built up over the years, with Modi articulating his fondness for Azad more than once. First in his interview to actor Akshay Kumar.
और गुलाम नबी आजाद और मैं बड़े दोस्ताना अंदाज में गप्पे मार रहे थे। फिर हम बाहर निकलते तो मीडिया वालों ने पूछा, कह रहे यार आप लोग इतने पक्के दोस्त मार रहे हो? तो फिर गुलाम नबी ने अच्छा जवाब दिया। हम दोनों खड़े थे, बोला देखो भाई, बाहर जो आप लोग सोचते हो ऐसा नहीं है। शायद एक फैमिली के रूप में हम लोग जितने जुड़े हुए हैं सभी दल के लोग, वो शायद बाहर कल्पना नहीं कर सकते। हम पूरी
Then in his speech yesterday in the Rajya Sabha,
आदरणीय गुलाम नबी जी को सुन रहा था। वैसे भी बड़ी मृदुता, सौम्यता और कभी भी कटु शब्द का उपयोग न करना, ये गुलाम नबी जी की विशेषता रही है। और मैं मानता हूं कि हम सभी जो सांसदगण हैं, उन्होंने उनसे ये सीखने जैसी चीज है, और इसलिए मैं उनका आदर भी करता हूं। 28 साल कार्यकाल,
and finally today,
अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। गुजरात के यात्री, क्योंकि जम्मू कश्मीर में जाने वाले टूरिस्ट में गुजरात बहुत बड़ा नंबर रहता है, और टेररिस्टों ने पर हमला कर दिया, करीब 8 लोग शायद मारे गए। सबसे पहले गुलाम नबी जी का मुझे फोन आया, उनके आंसू रुक नहीं रहे थे। फोन पे जैसे अपने परिवार के सदस्य की चिंता करें, वैसी चिंता।
Modi's tearful moment has amplified cordiality and statesmanship despite a vicious political atmosphere, but it has also served to severely embarrass the Congress party. Because ever since he led the charge of dissent within the Congress with the famous G23 letter to the Gandhis last year, Azad has been increasingly isolated and pretty much an outcast. Modi's embrace today therefore serves to highlight the Congress's intolerance of internal dissent, carrying forward a narrative the Prime Minister had thundered out in Parliament back in 2018.
हम कौन होते हैं जो आपकी आंख में आग डाल सके? कोई गरीब माँ का बेटा, पिछड़ी जाति में पैदा हुआ, गांव से आया है। आप तो नामदार हैं, नामदार। हम तो कामदार हैं। आपकी आंख में आग डालने की हिम्मत हमारी नहीं। पद, सत्ता।
The point made, with the Prime Minister's tearful words today still being digested by a Parliament that has had its daggers drawn for months. But Modi's emotions have been on display before. From speaking of Advani to his own mother to the surgical strikes, Modi has let his tears do the talking. But will his emotions now bridge a yawning divide in politics or only serve to widen them? Bureau Report, India Today.
My colleague Moshmi caught up with Mr. Gulam Nabi Azad as he bid farewell to his tenure in Rajya Sabha.
मैं नहीं अपेक्षा करता था कि प्रधानमंत्री इतना सेंटिमेंटल हो जाएंगे, इतना इमोशनल हो जाएंगे, इतना भावुक हो जाएंगे। पुरानी यादें जब हम चीफ मिनिस्टर थे या गुजरात के लोगों पे जब ग्रेनेड फेंका गया था, जब मैं चीफ मिनिस्टर था, और किस तरह से मैंने उस वक़्त अपने आप रोना आ गया था जब उन बच्चों के जिनके बच्चे ग्रेनेड की वजह से मारे गए थे वो मेरी टांगों में लिपट गए थे तकरीबन 1 दर्जे और कह रहे थे कि हमारे पापा कहाँ हैं, आप चीफ मिनिस्टर आप बताओ हमारे पापा कहाँ। तो मेरे बेसाख्ता आंसू ही नहीं बल्कि आवाज़ें चीखें निकल गई कि बच्चों में तुम्हारा बाप कहाँ से ला पाऊंगा, तुम्हारी माँ कहाँ से ले पाऊंगा। तो वही याद और उसी रोते रोते मैं सीएम महाराष्ट्र से सीएम गुजरात मोदी साहब थे उनसे बात कर रहा था तो उनको वो दिन याद आ गया।
All right, let's take you now directly to the latest that we are recording from Uttarakhand at the back of the mammoth tragedy. Heartrending, heartbreaking scenes outside the Tapuwan tunnel where 30 people are still trapped. It's been day 2 since the glacial breach in Uttarakhand's Chamoli area, and these 30 people continue to be trapped in the debris. The rescue operations are now being conducted through the bigger tunnel in the Tapuwan area, which is 180 meters long. Special team of experts, mountaineers of Garhwal Scouts Mount Mission are trying to drill a hole in the tunnel. A radar underslung helicopter was deployed to map the extent of damage. Uttarakhand government has requested the centre for a team of scientists to study and map the area of damage. 12 people who were rescued from the tunnel yesterday are undergoing treatment at the makeshift ITBP hospital set up at the site. They've complained of body aches as they were hanging on an iron bar for 3 to 4 hours fearing water and debris. Doctors have said they will recover soon. The level of slush inside is more than initially expected. Despite 3 JCB working in rotation non-stop, some distance still remains to be covered. The ITB, Indian Army, SDRF and the NDRF are all engaged in rescue mission. I want to connect immediately right now outside the Tapuwan tunnel. Joining me is my colleague Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, what's the latest in rescue? Gaurav, can you hear me? All right, we seem to be having a bit of an audio. Yes, go ahead, Gaurav.
There's a lot of work that's happening here at this point of time. You can see the pace of work has intensified, Preeti, but it's a very grim evening today as realization dawns that, this was a race against time. This is day 3 ending. And there is virtually no success for the simple reason is yesterday there was hope. They had managed to reach 100 meters. Only 80 meters had to be covered. But today it's almost like starting that entire process again because there's so much slush inside. Whatever progress had been made yesterday was lost today and that slush just came cascading down and that entire process had started all over again. That's point 1. Point 2, Preeti, the second approach that was being tried this morning by Garhwal Scouts to drill a hole into the top of that tunnel, that's also not succeeded and that had to be abandoned. Now there's a team of marine commandos who've come in and there is, they perhaps are one hope that they would be able to enter this tunnel with their specialized equipment and also, with their masks, with their oxygen cylinders, with long cables providing oxygen. Even if they cannot see anything, they feel through and move forward. But that is also not possible as long as slush keeps coming out. So it's a very, very painstakingly slow process. Will the Marcos be able to do something or will this be the only way that's been happening for the past 3 days? Preeti, what is also a cause for grave concern NTPC officials seem to indicate that water level rises at 1.5 meters per day. So in 3 days, close to 5 meters water level rising inside the tunnel is a cause for grave concern, Preeti.
Appreciate you joining us, Gaurav. Cause for grave concern and heart-rending visuals coming in from the Tapuwan tunnel. I want to quickly cut across because tragedy continues to mount. We get you this report from the Raini village in Uttarakhand, which was pretty much in the eye of the breach of the glacier. It's a race against time. As we said, 31 bodies have been recovered so far and over 170 people, viewers, are still missing in the Chamoli disaster caused by the glacial burst. Drones are being used to restore mobile network in Raini village, one of the worst hit. This is the same village where the Rishi Ganga project was completely destroyed due to the washing away of a bridge in the avalanche at Malari. Rishi Ganga Hydro Project General Manager Bashrat Zargar, who is a resident of Srinagar, is also missing. The National Disaster Response Force has said its personnel recovered 2 bodies from the debris in Raini this morning. The SDRF team is also using a dog squad in the area to ascertain whether there are any people alive or dead under the debris. Private and Indian Air Force helicopters have so far distributed 100 ration kits in the affected areas of 13 villages with a total population of 2,500. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat undertook an aerial survey as well. All right, let's quickly move on. The prime arrested in the Republic Day carnage of what we'd seen in the national capital, Deep Sidhu, has finally been arrested. This is how it all panned out.
The man accused of being at the center of the Republic Day violence. The man accused of fueling chaos and clashes during the tractor rally on Republic Day. Deep Sidhu, Punjabi actor turned activist who'd been on the run for 2 weeks now, is now finally in the Delhi police's net, just days after a 1 lakh rupee bounty was announced on him. Sidhu was arrested from Karnal in Haryana in the early hours of Tuesday. These videos that the actor has been putting out brazenly on Facebook since going into hiding are believed to have led to his arrest.
ना उत्थे कोई हिंसा कीती, ना किसे पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी नूं असीं डिस्ट्रॉय कीता या उन्हां नुकसान पहुंचाया, ना किसे बंदे नूं असीं मारिया कुट्टिया, ना साडे बंदे ते कोई इहो जी गल होई. Since I have not done anything wrong, so why should I run away and why should I be scared? I'm not scared.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਕਰਤਾ, ਮੇਰੀ रूह ਅੱਜ ਦੁਖੀ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਦਾਰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹੋ.
Sidhu had switched off his mobile phone on the 27th of January, a day after the violence. The last location of his cell phone was tracked to Haryana. Police say that the actor used to record videos and send them to a female friend in California. The friend would then upload them on the actor's Facebook account. Technical surveillance and an intelligence tip-off finally led to Deep Sidhu's arrest.
ये जो 26 तारीख को लाल किले और दिल्ली के अन्य भागों पर जिस तरह से हिंसा और उपद्रव संगठित हुआ था, उसमें ये दीप सिद्धू नामक का शख्स प्रमुख भूमिका निभाया था. इसकी तस्वीरें पब्लिक डोमेन में है, आप सबने देखा है. इस आरोपी दीप सिद्धू के ऊपर 1 लाख रुपया का इनाम भी घोषणा किया गया था. इस आरोपी दीप सिद्धू को दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल सेल की टीम ने गिरफ्तार कर लिया है. आगे की तफ्तीश जारी है.
Deep Sidhu came into the limelight in the early days of the Singhu border protest, when he also declared his sympathy for the extremist Khalistani movement.
ये revolution है. And if they are not going to understand the seriousness of this matter, trust me, it's going to be, it'll define the next political structure of this whole geopolitics of this entire country.
Since then, he's been chased away from the Singhu border, disowned by the farmer union leaders and accused of being a political agent by the opposition.
दीप सिद्धू से फिलहाल लगातार पूछताछ की जा रही है कि वो कहां गया, किस-किस से मुलाकात की, किस-किस ने उसकी छुपने में मदद की. हालांकि स्पेशल सेल के सूत्रों का कहना है कि 26 जनवरी हिंसा के बाद वो हिमाचल प्रदेश, पंजाब और हरियाणा में अपने जानकारों के यहाँ पर छुपा हुआ था. क्राइम ब्रांच ने उसे अपनी कस्टडी में ले लिया है और फिलहाल आगे की पूछताछ उससे की जाएगी। कैमरामैन राकेश के साथ अरविंद ओझा, इंडिया टुडे।
All right, let's quickly shift focus to the latest coming in from the state of West Bengal. The BJP party president JP Nadda right now in Bengal, 2 months before what is touted to be a tectonic election, once again clashed with Mamata Banerjee. BJP's Bengal Rath Yatra is on track as party chief Nadda returned to the state to kick off the second leg of the Paribartan Yatra. Nadda is expected to bring the tour from Jangram anytime now. He will then attend a Jan Sabha at 5:15 p.m. Earlier, Nadda lashed out at Mamata Banerjee and said that there isn't any freedom of speech in the state. Remember, BJP's mega outreach program will cover all 294 assembly constituencies between the month of February and March.
ममता बनर्जी का कहना है ये 5-star यात्रा है। There's a luxury रथ which is moving.
देखिए, ममता जी बहुत ही फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गई हैं और उनके पाँव के नीचे से धरती खिसक चुकी है। इसलिए वो क्या आरोप लगा रही हैं, क्या बोल रही हैं, वो कहीं ना कहीं उनके फ्रस्ट्रेशन को बताता है। इट स्पीक्स अबाउट हर फ्रस्ट्रेशन। फैक्चुअली क्या है कि आप देखिए, ये लाखों लोग आए हुए हैं। ये 5-star कल्चर में होता है क्या? ये 5-star कल्चर है क्या? नहीं है। लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, बड़ी संख्या में आ रहे हैं। और आपने देखा होगा, मैंने आपको बस के अपने रथ के ऊपर से भी दिखाया था कि कैसा रिस्पांस लोग कर रहे हैं। अभी भी आप रिस्पांस दोनों साइड में देख रहे हैं। ये अपने आप में बताता है कि लाखों लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। जहाँ जहाँ मैं जा रहा हूँ, लाखों की भीड़ है और बड़ी संख्या में उनका रिस्पांस मिल रहा है। तो ये कोई बनावटी नहीं हो सकता। दिस कैन नॉट बी क्रिएटेड, इट इज स्पॉन्टेनियस। एंड व्हेन इट इज स्पॉन्टेनियस, एलिगेशन ये लगाना कि ये 5-star कल्चर की बात है, ये मुझे लगता है कि ये बेसलेस भी है और ये उनके बारे में उनके फ्रस्ट्रेशन की कहानी बताता है।
All right, let's quickly cut across to our big Let India Breathe campaign triggered by Hero Electric. This is a story of perseverance.
On the shores of River Brahmaputra in Jorhat, Assam, is a 550-hectare of a forest that has been nurtured by one man, Jadav Payeng.
1979 ओवर फ्लड हुआ। ओवर फ्लड में बहुत जाबरा बड़ा चाइना से और अरुणाचल प्रदेश से जाबरा में बहुत स्नेक्स आया था। साथ में नहीं मरने से क्या करने पड़ेगा।
Also known as Forest Man of India, Jadav Payeng started out in 1979 by planting one sapling every day. This forest in Mayuli is now home to diverse flora and fauna.
जब बैम्बो रुकने से भी सांस हुई, सांस होने से भी सपना नहीं मरी और पेड़ रुकते 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 30 इयर्स में फॉरेस्ट बन गया। पहले डियर आ गया, डियर आने के बाद रॉयल बंगाल टाइगर का, राइनो आ गया, एलिफेंट आ गया।
Jadav Payeng wishes to inspire millions of Indians with his undying endeavor towards making our world greener.
पेड़ लगाने से भी जितने भी पोल्यूशन होता है, जितनी भी खराब होता है, अभी ऑक्सीजन कितने कम है, ये मत करती है। मैं तो जो करा है फॉरेस्ट बनाने में प्लांटेशन करके अभी कर रहा है और जितने दिन रहेगा स्टूडेंट के साथ रह के वो तो प्लांटेशन करने वो लोग को सिखाएगा।
All right, slipping into a quick break to stay with us. Up next is our fact check segment. Welcome back. You're watching our fact check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp group. There's an image that's floating about and you might have picked it up from your WhatsApp groups. There's a picture which seems to depict that alcohol was distributed amongst the farmers who are protesting on Delhi borders. The fact check on that: nothing like alcohol was distributed on the borders of Delhi. This is a very old and completely unrelated picture. With that quick fact check, time for us to wrap up this edition of 7 at 7. But do stay with me. Up next is To The Point.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.